Hello. I figured I would show my cleaning of my wife's pen here. She's got this TWSBI ECO, and the TWSBIs are kind of fun because they come with this little wrench to help get the back plunger assembly off, and they come with a little silicone grease. So right here we've got the TWSBI ECO in white here. As you can see, the one that we used had a ton of glitter. There's a bunch of shimmer in there, and there's a ton stuck in the feed bits. Now, does it matter? If you're going to refill it with the same ink, not so much. If you are going to use it in a different ink and you don't really want to contaminate that ink, you might want to clean it out fully. So you could just run it through the water, and that's what I'll do real quick. Let's just go ahead and get some water in here, and we'll flush it a little bit, and a bunch of that's coming out. Yeah, gross. All right, we're flushing it. Now, in the water, there's a bunch of the shimmer in there. There's a bunch of the ink in there, and a lot of the shimmer will come out because you are flushing it and shaking it around and getting it out. And you can do this a bunch of times if you want to. The thing is, it's not going to get it fully clean. So with TWSBIs, they've got this, when you fully depress that plunger, it opens up that little bit there, and it's going to line up so that can go in. And then the threads are kind of backwards, lefty-loosey, righty-tighty normally, but this is righty-loosey in this case because it's opposite of the direction of the plunger, so you don't accidentally undo it when you're in the middle of refilling your pen. So we're undoing it. Now the threads are disengaged. I can just pull that all the way out and set that down, and now it's just empty. And a cool thing you can do is use one of these bulb syringes and then just plug the back with it. See, I'm just stuck in there, and then it just flushes right through, and you can get a whole bunch of volume of water through this, so you can get through this process faster. And that's fantastic. Who doesn't like saving time? Now, look at that though. Even though I flushed it a bunch with a bunch of water, there's still shimmer in there. Now that might be a problem if you're going to use it with a different ink and you don't want to add shimmer to an ink that doesn't already have shimmer. Hold that for me, would you? Thank you. So what you can do is remove this whole feed section. So I like to take a little bit of paper towel, and then you just pull it out. See, just removed it. It goes in with this. You line it up. It's got this nice little spot where it lines up and it clicks in place. There's a little notch where that nib lines up on the feed, and you can't really misalign it in that case. You just make sure it's all the way back to where it seats in place, and then when you put it back in, you just carefully line it up so that little skinny bit lines up right here with that little middle area you can see, and you kind of firmly push it back in place until it doesn't go back anymore, and it's good to go. So that's a super easy way. You don't have to get all afraid. It's going to be real simple. You just pull that right out. I like to grab, sometimes when it's full of ink, I'll grab it with a paper towel so I don't get my ink all over my hands, but I flushed it already. So now you can use what we like to call this ultrasonic cleaner. Now I don't have any water in there right this second. I'm going to put these bits in there. I'm going to get some fresh water to put in there. And you might put a little dab of dish soap in there too, so that you get, I'm going to submerge it. I'm going to put a little bit of dish soap solution in there. Now, I squirted a bunch in there. That's because it's already diluted. I already have a diluted dish soap. So I wouldn't squirt that much dish soap into it. It would be like a drop or two normally. So now My ultrasonic cleaner is plugged in and ready to go. I'm going to set it for 3 minutes, and we'll come right back. Okay, we're done. Now, if you have expensive pens, you might want to use distilled water. That's usually recommended. The TWSBI ECOs are only like 30 bucks, so not too big of a deal. But you can see already this is cleaner in there. Now I'm going to flush it again. And this time, it's helped to remove the shimmer that was all in that those little fluted sections on the inside there. I'm going to go the other direction just a little bit so that we get the end of it flushed from the other way, in case there's anything that's stuck up in that area. All right. Now, that's all clean. I took the plunger out. I forgot to do that. So that way we've got this little bit of shimmer that might be on the end of this is now off now, as I'm repeating words, I guess. Okay, and then we got the feed. Now the feed, let's get that dried off a bit. Now, there's no glitter in there. It's clean. Excellent. And the nib. Let's dry that off. Now the nib will of course be clean. There's nothing really for the glitter to get stuck in except for maybe right in between the tines, but it's good now. All right, now you can wait to dry this. You want to make sure all the water's out of it before you go ahead and put new ink in there, probably. I'm just going to use the end of a Q-tip to kind of absorb the water that's in here. And then we've got the outside that's wet. Now that's pretty good, and I'm not going to worry about it being fully dry yet to redo everything. It's going to be just fine. Now I carefully removed this, and I didn't want it to get out of place, so I put it just where it starts, right where it lets go, right when it comes out. That's where I made sure to leave this section so that the plunger would have a chance to go all the way up and all the way down to keep that demonstrator section of ink, the reservoir, to be full. When I get this all the way back to in its tight position, it's as close as it can get to that point. I've clocked it before, and that's about as close as it'll ever get. So now you're going to take this, you're going to open up this silicone grease here, and then you're going to dab just a little bit along these edges. It kind of leaks out slowly, so I just get a little bit of it and get around that little rubber bit of the plunger. And then we can go ahead and stick that spot back in this area. I'm going to get it all the way up to there. I'm going to use my, I'm going to push that plunger down a little bit more so that my wrench can fit here. Whoops, a little bit more, and it should, there we go. Now I can go back to this part. I like to back it over the thread until I feel it click. Now I know it's lined up, and I'm not going to cross thread anything. And I can use the wrench, or I can use the barrel, whichever way I want to do it. But I'm going to just get that all back to its seated, solid, locked-in position. And now my pen is ready to work with the plunger section. And I just want to put my nib and feed back together and line that up so that that's in the notch as back far as it can go. And then I'm going to carefully re-put this in like that. So now it's all ready to go. Now there's this little triangle shape of this grip, the section. And if you want to, if you like holding it down there, you want to connect that feed and get it in the position where when you're writing, that nib is flat. If you don't hold it down that low, then it won't matter. But if you hold that triangle, I like to just line that up. And you want to make sure that this part is seated all the way back, or you might get a little bit of a leak. So right there, there's that little end of that little feed, and if it comes back and there's a gap, you'll find that it drips. If you don't want it to drip, make sure you're clicked all the way back and you'll be just fine. And make sure that your nib and your feed are lined up and aligned. You can see that there, they're lined up well. And now you're ready to dip it into the ink and get your next ink color filled up in your pen. Thanks for watching.